Good morning, Vietnam! Hey, today I'm co-hosting Hobotango. Hobotango, take it away.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Steel Division 2. Today, for part 56, we have P.Uri.Tanner hosting the game, and I will be his, like he said, co-hoster. And so, yeah, hope you enjoyed this game. Back to you, Tanner.
Alright, setup phase is already over, the game is ongoing. We have a strong attack on the urban area from Hobotango. And he has good anti-air defense, like the flak feeling can secure him the early air war. And on the second town he's also pushing. Looks like a good early play for Hobo. What's the opponent doing, Hobo?
The opponent actually doesn't know much about what he's doing because he's been saying that it's his first time playing Panssardivisiona, and so it looks like he's rushing a bit on my far left and on my far right, sorry, and it looks like he's gonna lose all of his infantry there to my two machine guns. But yeah, he was mentioning being pretty new with this division.
Oh, and that's a nice way to test a new division against Hobotango's 14th Infantry. What made you pick this horrible division?
Well, this is part 56 of playing every division in the game, and right under 3rd Fallschirmjägers is the 14th Infantry. So I had to pick them, but I do play them quite often since the time I fought Eagle with it, and Eagle was playing it. And since that time, I tried them, and I really like them. They suck, but I mean they're fun to play still.
They suck in a nice way, that's true. You caught a huge bomb on the urban area on the left, but your tiger's still up and can possibly punch through the enemy.
In the middle of town there, he's gonna bring quite a lot of these annoying bombers. It's a good thing I brought the flag Veiling, though I was kind of expecting that from Panssardivisiona.
It's a very offensive position for the flak feeling. Oh, why?
Yes, but that's because my supporting unit that was supposed to cover the flag Veiling died. That was the what are they called? The little ones. The Panzer Lukes was supposed to go on the road and protect the flag Veiling, but it died in the middle of the street instead.
I mean, it's a good position. Like for the 20 millimeters, you either go close in to the enemy planes or you are largely ineffective. So, possibly a good choice.
Yes, but if you zoom on it, notice it is the Flak Veiling 20 mils, so this is a pretty good one. I mean, I could have used it far away and would have been still great. But I really wanted to push hard in the middle of that town with all these triple vet infantry. I really wanted to be aggressive with my AA as well.
And what's your thoughts about the right situation? Like, there's Sotkas punching through your
Yes.
lines. It's not looking
Now,
good.
no, that was pretty devastating here. I didn't expect him to push that much, especially since I was heavy in town on my left. And but I don't panic. I sent some bazookas there, and hopefully they'll be able to kill all of these as long as the recon dies before.
And the fight is going. Recon against your Panzerschreck. Can you unmount in time?
I
Ooh, you
think I
can.
won't. Yes, I do. I couldn't
You did?
remember. And there you go. Now the recon is dead. That Panzer Strike will die, but at least these tanks are going in blind now.
Yes. But, I mean, you didn't know at the time, so this is a huge weak point. Like, the whole offense hinges on the availability of recon to the tanks.
Yeah, exactly. And I did expect to. I mean, I did expect him to have infantry, but you see, as he advanced to T-34, it shows he doesn't have any infantry because of the front line there. So I kind of even moved my machine gun forward so that I could cut any incoming infantry. Um, Although there isn't, but
It's good riddance. Tanks on the right gone. Two T-28s left, but you have a stuck in the field. That's probably a safe
yes,
flank for you. Let's
exactly.
switch to the center town. To the left town.
Yeah. All right, so I'm pushing hard here. There's barely no infantry. Had I known that, would have pushed those loops much further. Um, think I'm doing quite well. But obviously I could have done better. Seeing as there's no infantry. I didn't expect that.
True, you could have pushed harder, but I mean, you're doing the probing, and that's enough. The front
Yes,
line will
exactly.
collapse. Oh, there's ah,
Look at the front line. Look at the front line as a whole.
it's one huge dong inside your front line.
Yeah.
Okay,
That-
calling in cluster planes against the flak feeling and against Lux, I think it's difficult. I mean, the Tiger probably justifies the cluster, but yeah,
Yeah,
you planned
but
ahead.
I knew Panssardivisiona would have these as well, so I keep the Tiger behind and safe on. Well, now that it's falling back, I move front, but I kept some distance at first. I didn't want to risk too much, especially I only got two Tigers in phase A, and they're quite important to me.
Yes, amazing cats. What can you say about people who start with a Tiger or any other heavy tank in the setup phase?
I would say they are noobs, and I would say it's a very bad idea. It's very risky, and I mean, for top players like above my skill set and all that, I mean, it could be very dangerous because we know how to play these tanks. But for anyone that's not very experienced with the game, I would not recommend starting up with such expensive units.
It's a tricky proposition. I mean, once it's out, yeah, like you control the opponent's reaction. You had the flag feeling and you knew a cluster plane was coming, so you could already negate his next move. I think heavies can be played at all levels, but obviously the risk is immense. If you have lost that flag feeling, you would have 130 points of
Oh
liability on the field.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And if I'd lost the flag viewing in the start of the game, and then the cluster would have come for my Tiger, that would have been, like fucking 200 points more lost there. That would have been a huge blow. Unfortunately for me, my opponent was not very experienced with this division, or it could have turned completely sideways.
Okay, yeah, you are in the lead, 16-8. That's a solid double tick. It doesn't look really good for Tonton Lagnol.
Tonton La Guignol. Yeah, it doesn't look good for him, and I told him as well a bit later. I told him doesn't look good for you, and he's like, why? But then you will see he's gonna catch up to this. He's gonna catch up real well, and it's hard to imagine because the way he plays right now is really bad. I mean, there's not a lot of infantry on the ground, which is why I'm saying it's bad. Um, but it's gonna get better for him.
Okay, yeah, I think Jakari are difficult to play, especially if you have to use them for anything else but fighting in urban areas, especially after the Molotov nerf. Jakari have two Molotovs and the great automatic rifles, semi-automatic rifles, and a Panzerfaust. So they are a bit of a jack of all trades, but the lack of an MG hurts them in some situations, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. They you would see them being used much more often before.
Ooh, good snipe kill, Taka Ampulya taking out your gun on the left side.
But
That
yeah, that
hurts.
was pretty annoying. You gotta say. But that's why I brought all of these Ersa Stupin just for the sniper, and well, we're gonna see what happens next if we still got eyes on that at that point. But yeah,
It's a whole forest full of new friends. Alright, there's a group of Pioneers, Begleitpioniere, and Grenadiere idling in a forest. That's a really strong defensive position. In my experience, the left side, a comeback, it's really difficult. Once you've lost the town, you have to work for it.
yeah, for sure, because there's so much forest here. It really favors defensive positioning, and Christ, there's that long straight road. You just bring a Tiger there with the recon or whatever, and then you're golden pretty much.
Yes. I mean, especially Panssardivisiona has troubles controlling the long ranges. Um, yeah, there's just not enough good metal boxes available.
Yeah. He does have an ISU 152
Mhm.
in the other in the other road, but I really think he should have brought it forward where he was losing on my far left. Look at that T-28 behind my line, just probing away.
Yeah, taking the sightseeing tour.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring a Panzerschreck to his face, and he's gonna actually walk right into it.
That could happen. Yeah, final destination. There's no way you can
Yeah,
support this tank.
I still got that AT gun in town in the middle of the map, just giving me a good look of what's coming, and fighting as well the infantry.
It's very lucky with the few ranges and the housing situation. Like the infantry can't see it, the recon can't see it. I would still say if you would push the right flank, you would lose all your units. His defense there is pretty good. And is that still not that good at offense?
Well, yeah, on my where he's pushing. I think at that point, I didn't want to waste my good infantry on that flank. I really wanted to keep these for the for where I was winning.
It's sensible. I mean, at the same time, the reverse is also true. If he would push out in the open, his Jakari would succumb to your Luxus and probably even Sicherungsturm. What's your long-term game plan here? Like, you have a good lead now. You have a solid play. What? How will you close the
Well,
game?
my long-term game plan was to take the left completely, and I really expected to be able to push more on that left, and I guess I could if I was just stop being afraid of pushing. But it was really to annihilate him all of the my left flank. But then, since he was taking my right flank, I had to invest more troops there and more of my time. So I kind of abandoned pushing on my left, and I just started really working for the right. So, in a way, I was kind of fighting for my life. And you see, now he's brought back the game to 12-12. So I was getting quite nervous about that.
True, and with that ISU 152, it's really difficult to push back in the town, especially
Yeah,
with
for
that
sure.
ability of overwatching.
For sure, and I don't have much for AT actually. You know, I got my Pack 40, but that wouldn't do the trick. I got Tigers, but that wouldn't necessarily do it. Um, it was pretty tricky. I didn't even think about recapturing that middle town there.
Yeah, um, just need a lot of tigers to do it. It's it has so many troubles. Playing tigers, it's so much fun, but it's
Yeah,
a very high risk, high stakes game.
it is, and I hate that from 14 Infantry because they rely heavily on their Tigers, but it's such a unit you don't want to waste that. Whenever you lose one, it's just it's a total blow.
Okay. Yeah, whenever you run out of ideas, you bring in a bomber. It's good German wisdom. So you do like, I mean, hunting MG positions with a bomber, it's expensive. Oh, he's doing air micro on the left, and he's on your tail. No,
Yeah, but you know what? I out microed him, and I'm gonna bring them toward my flag Virling. But I don't think he's gonna follow me really.
double flag feeling. That's a lot.
Yes.
And
I
Hilo
I
down.
was rolling there. Are we gonna do a face to face G2 versus G4?
I think the flag feeling. No, actually, yeah. See, the range does matter even for the flag feeling. You send it home, but the flag feeling's damage output on range, not that
Yeah.
great. He panic
Then
buys Landswerk anti-air. Probably the wrong choice because you are Ersatztruppen pushing hard.
yes, they're pushing hard, and all he's got are infantry and and this anti-air there. So that's gonna be really great for me for a moment at least, because you know now he's starting to bring the T-34. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, look at all these Blenheim. Plus the off map now is starting to appear.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried because, like, as good as it feels bombing a Zedstrom, it's not economical, feasible. Like, you just bomb them, they run away, and you've won nothing, and points-wise you're behind.
Oh, exactly. You need infantry to follow these bombers, and there's. I'm just surprised at how much infantry less he is. I mean, he doesn't have any on the left. He has so few on the right either. Sometimes I'm surprised people can play without infantry like that.
To be honest, I think the tank meter is still alive. Like, you can bring 3 Shermans and just annihilate positions in combat distances from 250 to 1.5k. Shermans will eat up all ATGs. 50 cards are dashed on. Your Tiger under extreme duress. Many tanks coming in. Did you feel the
Yeah,
pressure?
he's getting bombed too. I feel a lot of pressure, and if you look, I've got a response to that. I'm gonna bring my own off map and try to stop him from taking advantage of that. But he did place his off map behind my line on the Tiger rather than on all of these Ersatztruppen, which is quite good. But now all of his trucks are gonna be stopped by my Ersatz, and I think that's a victory for me. I have a off map also on the far right, pretty wasted. I mean, I thought there was a lot of infantry in there. It turns out there's just one.
I mean, yeah, after 70 minutes, there's just not enough food for all these infantrymen. Yeah, I think the moment you spotted the tanks, there's no shame in having a off-map sit around, wait some time. No, safe position. You have a very good location for your off-map, though.
Yes. Yeah, I was like the Herrschaftstruppen are just stopping them there, and this is coming on their face. Look at all that. Oh wow.
And you have a pack 40 coming up. This could be a devastating blow for him.
Yes, I was thinking of bringing another Tiger, and then I figured pack 40 is faster, so let's not risk it.
Good thinking. Oh, he had a nice counter push going. And yeah, that slowed it down to a point where you could funnel him into a kill box. And that looks good. Oh, pack 40 under fire. Will it
Yeah.
unpack? Yes.
Yes, just in time.
That's tight. Um, yeah, mortars going immediately after your pack 40. That's a quick reaction from him. But off map, the damage is done, the tanks are gone.
I mean, it did stop them for a while. That's for sure. Give them something to think about. I'm still capturing his flag in the middle, um, near his spawn.
Ooh, nice ISU on the right side. It's very effective against the MG. Putting up pressure. I like the setup, like ISU in the back, recon armored cars in the front line. Pretty decent. There's certain unit compositions where you just have to grind against. And yeah, I think ISU in the back and recon in the front. That's one of those compositions that you just have to
And,
throw in stuff to kill it.
yeah, but then I don't have to suicide. I can just throw my bombers like I'm doing now, and that's gonna be enough. Right to fall him back.
I like
Another
the idea
bomber
of
on that, and yeah,
defensive bombings are the best bombings.
yes, exactly. And you don't risk getting shot down as well, so that's pretty good for sure.
But your opponent knows this, and he had brought an 20mm on the right side, pretty far up front, so yeah, he lost it, but he's aware of
There's
the game.
another there's another 20 millimeter that was there since the very start of the game. It's still in its truck.
Oh, that happens to me all the time. Like,
Yeah.
putting down orders and not orders, stuff just waiting.
And look, he's calling back the same unit, but he already had one. What a waste of points,
It's so easy.
unfortunately.
Like, who scrolls back to the start? And by the way, are you
Yeah,
playing in a
for sure.
scrolled out state, or are you one of the people who go in close?
If what?
Do you zoom in often? Is
Oh
it
yeah,
more like the...
I zoom in. I zoom in often, especially when I choose unit. I like to zoom in to see where they're gonna spawn from, um, just to make sure they spawn from the right place. At least I try to.
Oh yes, there's some maps where the spawn system is really, really dangerous. You can
Yeah.
get
Oh
your
yeah,
hands killed.
it's ridiculous.
Um,
I'll look at the far right in my own position. You know, I've put all of these Shishirung there close to the roads. I wanted to make sure that if something like recon vehicle would be stopped dead in their tracks, and these Shishirung on the far right, they just killed 2 infantry trucks. So you know their GRB-39, their anti-tank rifle is pretty good.
yeah, and it's not only good against trucks; it's also good against tanks. You
Yeah,
can
exactly.
sideshot stuff.
They do 60 mil damage. I mean, that destroys Panzer IVs for sure.
Yeah, it can, and it will. I think you are over-investing in Sicherungs though. That's too much infantry for the right side. Because it's really tricky to convert all this infantry into offensive power. Not so, yeah, you're in a good position. Over-investing in defense is not the worst thing, but...
Yeah, exactly. I am winning after all, but it is 13-11. But still, I felt like my advantage on the left would allow me to overspend in the right. Look at my off map on the far left.
Yes, I mean,
And
you really hate that mortar.
oh yeah, and it's out of ammo too. What a waste.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, the further you progress into enemy territory, the harder it gets to actually get stuff done. Oh, your off map is finally coming down on the right side. It's a good one.
I don't think it's gonna kill it either. 'Cause, later in the game, there will be some mortars coming from there. I think it's the same. Yeah.
Yeah, mortar survives it. Now he just needs supply and a little bit of motivation.
Oh, I did stop some of his infantry unit though. Another off map there on the right, on my right side.
Yep, going down. And you are hitting the Chiavari? Chiavari? His leadership.
Yeah, I didn't see anything there. I just figured they must have been a bunch of stuff, and I went blind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, one of the easiest ways to deploy off map is like attacking somewhere with infantry and then waiting for the opponent to react and putting the off map on his reaction forces. Um,
Look at all I'm bringing for that flag there on my in the middle on my end. There's 2 Pak 40 I ended up deploying there. There's machine guns, Shishirungs. Now there's 2 Stuk. There's all these grenadiers. I mean, I was really scared that he had something big going on there.
I mean, he has the ISU, which could, in theory, rain on your parade. Stuks can harm it, but not on 2K range.
Yeah, no, exactly. He did very well to keep it way behind.
Yeah.
Now there's a Blenheim train on the left with Stukas. They're coming for my flag veiling.
Oh no.
And an off map as well. Jesus. I was manually targeting the Stuka with the flag veiling.
Mm-hmm. That's a good job. I mean, yeah, he has 2 choices. He could bomb your right flank, or he could really focus down with all his planes on the left flank. And he got some bombs through, and did only lose, I think, the empty off-map plane.
Yeah, exactly. They pretty much all survived.
Your Tiger is in a shoot-off with a good AT gun.
Oh,
But the problem is it's APCR, and APCR is only 1k range, which is
yeah,
not enough.
exactly. You needed to advance just a little bit further.
Yeah, Tiger is holding his position very well. I would
You
go so
know,
far that he could push on your left side more aggressively. What you say?
I don't think he could really. I mean, well, maybe he could, but I do have 2 Tigers there. I got flag veiling. I guess I'm starting to run out of infantry, so yeah, in a way, he could probably overwhelm me if he just clicked everything forward. Now he's starting. It's 12-12 again. He's starting to capture back some of the flags on my right. Although I just did a push there.
In your position, there's a good way. Like you take the flanking road into the center town from your left flank, the road to the town.
Yeah.
Would be relatively safe, or you can do it with some smoke.
Yeah, definitely. And there's nothing there. There's just a machine gun. So I could have done something there for sure.
Okay, I'm really excited to see this stuck action on the right side. Especially against the ISU. I hope it won't get caught by a bomber.
They are going to attack eventually.
I see you also bring the Stuck 3 E. How do you like it?
I really enjoy them. You know what? For infantry support, they're the best. Plus, their heat rounds, they do a lot of serious damage. They're really great. I love them. You couple these guys with other tanks, and they do some serious damage. Plus, their HE isn't the greatest, but I think they do their job well. And look at that. Now the Stug Tree takes all the heat from the T-34, and that allows my Tiger to retreat a little bit before getting shot by them at close range. And so they're a good throwaway weapon, and they're also good support overall.
Yeah, it's pretty perfect ranging. Like your flak feeling is under fire, but your Tiger is also protecting it.
A left Tiger just died to the Pack 40.
Oh yeah, it's a
That's a
good
bit of a blow.
advancement. And he's still behind in points.
Yeah, 14-10. There's 2 minutes left to the game. Soon I'm just gonna bring everything forward.
I mean, one big problem for you if you can't close the game up, his air force, the Blenheims, they will eat away on your infantry. And,
Yeah, exactly.
it's
That's
dangerous.
in the long game. They're like I've had this happen to me so many times. Or you need to surrender because the enemy's got so much bombers that you can't do shit against.
Yes, it really is sudden death modus. If you realize on C phase you don't have AA left and the opponent has 4 Blenheims. Bad luck. And he's also doing a really good job suppressing your flak feeling.
Yeah.
But 1 minute,
I'm pushing
20
on
seconds.
with this Stug. I'm pushing now. There's an attack brewing.
it's coming. The Chakari
I've
fine infantry, not in this position.
Yeah. Look at that. I just started moving everything forward on my right. We're going for it.
That's a good move. Yeah. He that's not enough infantry to stop this. ISU taking down your Stoke. One shot, 1 kill. It's bad. You can't afford this.
It's pretty bad. At that point, I was like, fuck that. And I started to retreat the Stug from there.
You have no artillery besides the off map. Uh, how come?
Yeah, and I only had 4 mortars in my deck. Sometimes you gotta make some choices. I was thinking of bringing a Morser 250 mil, 210 mil, the heavy artillery
Yeah,
on, but then I figured I'd just get the off map.
it's a fan favorite. Games can literally end in 15 minutes if you bring it in setup phase. Your opponent doesn't notice.
Yeah, well, exactly. Now, I used to hate off maps so much I wouldn't take them, and I put that aside because like there's no way you need off map for certain divisions.
All right, well played. Especially consider that 14th Infantry is might not be the best deck around. Let's take a look at the stats. And yeah, you have a clear advantage. 2.4k against 1.8.
Yeah, 24 against 18, so I think I did well.
Yeah, and your opponent had good game sense. Like there was a counter to everything. Was
Yeah,
well played.
and the opponent, he has a 77% victory ratio in rank, so he's not a noob. Um, Although multiplayer game he's only got 47%, but that could be team games.
Mhm.
But in rank games he does very well. So
Yes, all BDC people. Like it's a fantastic clan. They all play really well.
yeah,
Colonel König is a great player.
I think he recently joined them though, right?
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah,
let's take a
I
look at the kill list, maybe.
yeah, for sure. Kill this.
All right, looking at kills. I think the one to look out for is your flag feeling. Certainly
Yeah,
worth it.
it did well.
Even 2 infantry kills. It's good.
It's pretty good considering they have a 750-meter range for infantry, so for ground. So that means he had to be in dangerous ways. But like you said, the Jackery, they don't have machine guns, so
It's a perfect trap for them. In that
yep.
matchup, I think, yeah, you did a great job putting it that offensively, especially in combination with the Tiger. Really locked down your left flank. Let's take a look at his Air Force. I think that tells us something.
Bombers, yeah.
Yes, the Blenheims especially.
They did okay, I guess, but nothing extraordinary. Just I just see 2 of them actually got and kill.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, they did one ersatz machine gun, one grenadier, and then the others got 2 ersatz and one pack 40. So he invested a lot in them, but didn't get much in return.
Yeah. I mean, it's like an investment in your future. The Blenheims can
Yeah,
amortize well. Um, I like the idea of separating into close support, where you just try to engage high value targets, but you do not react against enemy infantry. And yeah,
yeah. You see, I think I would have used them more for to support the infantry rather than high target. Because that flag veiling, it could not play a big role in defending against infantry or T-34s or things like that.
mm,
Instead, if he had used these Blindheim for destroying all of my frontline infantry, I think he would have been able to take back a lot more ground.
yeah, possibly. There's a plethora of interesting what if scenarios, especially like
Yeah,
what if he would have used his air force on your right flank, where you had little AA.
yeah, exactly. And what would be cool is if we could take the replay and start playing them from whatever point we would want with anyone, against AI or against any player, and then you just join in as the other player and start from where it is.
This would be
And
amazing. But
yeah, I have.
I don't think there's any intern at Eugen Systems who can code this.
Yeah, yeah. But I have a chess game. It's called what is my chess game called? It's Chess Ultra,
Mhm.
and it's a really cheap game. It's $15, and in that chess game you can play against human, obviously, and you can do exactly just that. Once the game is over, you can go back every step of the game, and you can start playing there against the AI to kind of do these what if scenarios, and it's a pretty cool thing to do.
Mhm.
And it's too bad that Eugen system don't invest too much in these quality of life tools.
To be fair, that's really tricky to code. I think StarCraft did it, but after a while, took them some
Yeah,
time.
I don't doubt it's difficult, but
Mhm.
if it's your job to do so, like I mean, I get up every morning, I go do my job. It's very difficult, and but I still do it, and in the end, it should be difficult, and we should be trying to push the boundaries a little bit. But too many developers would say, "Oh, it's hard to do that." Well, yeah, but imagine if everyone would say that, "Oh, it's hard to do it, so I won't do it, and I'll just sit and do nothing because it's hard." I don't know. It doesn't compute with me.
Yeah, yeah, you're perfectly right. I think yeah, the ambition comes first, and
Yeah,
that's great. But what's an interesting proposition is like you could take the final season game between Nilla and Gonzo, or Gonzo and Quadrayu, and recreate the setup phase and the decks, and then play those games, which I think would be interesting.
yeah, that's true. I guess the player could do that themselves. Um, yeah,
We
that
could
yeah.
do this. Like you could be Quadrayu, and I could be Gonzo, and then
Yeah, we actually
King
could. We could
Tiger.
try to make this happen for sure.
Okay. Was nice hosting you. See you next time you play something
Yes,
interesting. All right.
yes, for sure. Thank you for hosting.
See you, man.
All right, goodbye.